One of the biggest pitfalls of doing this job, or of doing this job well, is assuming that you always know best, that you're always correct. And I try to check myself. And I made an understandable but annoying to me mistake on the first video on this Silvertone 1392, and that I said that these amps were made by Valco, because I read the wrong article that said Valco made Danelectro, made all these other things, and Valco did make a lot of amps, but these particular amps, this Airline and this Silvertone, were made by Danelectro. So mea culpa. One of the posters who seemed to know what he was talking about, one of the commenters, said that he thought this power transformer was original, and it was that these added nuts are making it not fit. I'm not sure about that being correct either, because the gap necessary to clear the cabinet seems to be more than that nut would give us. I'm going to try it, but two marks against this being original. First of all, I don't think that they would have used the more expensive power transformer with a 5-volt winding for a tube rectifier if they didn't need to. So I don't think that is a mark. Second of all, this red wire with the yellow stripe, which is going to this ground here, has been cut. Let's see if I can get the other end of it free for you. You can see that little cut end. I think that was the original HT center tap wire. And this is the one for the new transformer that was attached to ground here, though it wasn't quite tight. It was still working in the previous video. But anyway, I'm going to see if I have enough slack in the existing wires to pull this transformer out and remove these nuts, and then put it back and see if it will fit without these nuts. If that's what it is, we can save the guy a $100 power transformer. But I really do suspect that we need more than that additional clearance. But if I'm wrong, it's good to know. So let me take these nuts off, put this back, and then put it in the back in the cabinet temporarily, and we will test that. Because, like I said, I do make mistakes. None of us are perfect, and if I'm mistaken in my thought on this transformer, I don't want to charge the guy for a new one that he does not need. The owner described this as a non-original transformer, so hopefully he knows the history of the amp. I think it probably is non-original, but let's just verify that. All right, I've got it temporarily installed without those extra nuts. Let's see if that buys us the added space we need. Well, while I'm still not convinced this is the original transformer, given that cut wire and the extra 5-volt secondary, that actually did buy us just enough space to get us in there. You can see this dark mark where there isn't dust. That's where this chassis used to be hitting. So it did the trick, and there's zero clearance. I mean, it is touching the top inside, but it is where it ought to be, and it comes all the way flush now. So the owner will be very happy that he does not need a new transformer. I still have to take this back out, and all those things I just temped in need to be retightened and cleaned, especially that the ground connection for the HD center tap is not great. And there'll be some other issues in this amp. The overall output is still kind of wimpy, even given the number of channels, gain stages it has. So this amp is not done, but that does save a big chunk of the repair, and I'm always willing to admit to mistakes and to correct them. So I will find and thank the commenter who pointed me to that clue. But between that cut old ground and that 5-volt secondary, it was not an unreasonable thought. So a good, honest mistake. That's what I promise you here, folks. Good, honest mistakes.